Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Life Work Balance podcast. I am Leah Starkey, and here with me is our co-host, Paul Conley. Paul, it's been quite a minute since we recorded, and I don't know about you, but I'm excited to get back to it. So who are we meeting with and chatting with today?
Yeah, instead of just picking anybody, we're going out for the best of the best. And today, I'm excited. We got somebody, Chad Gono, and I'm just going to let him say hi real quick, but then we're going to hit. I got him teed up for the best question to start this thing. But Chad, before we do that, welcome.
Hey, it is a pleasure to be here with you guys. And I'm excited to talk about work-life balance and all the stuff about work that doesn't actually have to do with work.
So we're going to correct you there, Chad. No big deal, but it's life-work balance. We put life first.
Okay.
We'll let it go this time.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's even better. That's what it's all about. Okay.
All right.
All right. So, and for anybody listening, Chad's LinkedIn page, his banner, it says, work doesn't have to suck. People over profits, healthy over smart. And when I read that, I just said, yeah, we're going to message him and see if he wants to be on the podcast. So tell us a little bit about that banner. I'm guessing it's part of your philosophy, and then we'll get into some of the other stuff, what you do in day to day.
Yeah, for sure. And, I think what it comes down to is most of us have had that horrible job or that horrible boss. And when we talk about work doesn't have to suck, that's the purpose of our organization. We went and made our purpose and created our core values, and it took us a while to get there, but we landed on work doesn't have to suck. And going back to when we talk about, okay, jobs that are bad, bosses that are bad, right? That stuff trickles into the rest of your life. And as a business, we can be a place that actually lifts up our employees. We can be a place that actually fills their cup every single day and actually creates greatness in them. And at the same time, it actually is good for the top line. It's good for the bottom line, but more importantly, it's good for society. And so we're so passionate about that. I will say that most companies, in my opinion, they a lot of times they don't have values. They don't have a purpose statement. And if they do, then it's typically just on a plaque on the way to the restroom. And it's nothing that's really meaningful out throughout the organization. About 3 years ago, we changed the 10-year goal of our organization. And instead of it being some arbitrary revenue number, it was $150 million. We said, scratch that. What we want to do is we want to create 500 stories in 10 years. Stories can be anything from, we bought Kenneth tires because his tires, blew out, to, face Stephen Thompson in San Antonio. His mother passed away. We found out he had a GoFundMe page. He was selling plates of food to try to pay for his own mother's funeral. We can put the $5,000 on the GoFundMe. We can do that. Those things are stories. But then there's also, I've got a binder of heartfelt emails from, people within the organization saying this company truly changed my life because of the atmosphere that I get to come in every single day that pushes me to be a better person. So what we're saying is, as an organization, let's create 500 stories of those. That's more important than some arbitrary revenue number. We know we're going to continue to grow. We're going to hit a number, but what's more important is creating, an atmosphere of love and joy in the workplace that impacts lives. That's what gets us excited. And so when we change that, it really changed a lot of the company, and we believe it. It's not just me, it's our whole leadership team, it's our managers, everybody believes in it. And that's what's really cool, is when you've got that going on, you see people's lives being changed, and it is something that it's super special, and it's a lot of fun to be around an atmosphere like that.
Okay, so we were right. You are our kind of people. So,
Nailed it.
Podcast over. Great. Good job, guys. Well, that is basically everything in a nutshell that we believe as well. And it is very rare that we actually find businesses that believe that. They'll say they believe it, but then it trickles back to the money. I get it. Business is money. Understood. But the fact that you all believe it does also help to drive the bottom line is what we try to push across to people. So I'm curious. I just want to go back a little bit. you did not start this company. Is that correct? What's the backstory there?
Yeah, so my grandfather started this company in 1971, and then my parents took it over in 96, 97. I did not want to do it. I never wanted to be a part of this organization. You know, and my buddies and I did some entrepreneurial stuff out of college, but it was time for me to eventually move back to Dallas. And, you know, I made the call and I said, hey, can I just try it out? I was here. I hated it at the beginning. Working in the warehouse, then working in inside sales for 2 years. And it was not the same culture that it is today. Not that, you know, my parents or my grandfather didn't do a good job of keeping the doors open and doing as much as they could to their people, but it wasn't the same. And I guess what happened was, what did happen was eventually you just get frustrated. You have a vision. And one of my best mentors, you know, Mark Connolly, you know, I remember he was sitting there with me one day at the very beginning, and I was worried about pulling out of inside sales because, you know, I was selling. And he was like, Chad, you have to start thinking in terms of multiplication, and you have to stop thinking in terms of addition. And, you know, really to be the architect, build this machine, build the system. And then that's really what started it. But it was a good 5 years after that to where we, you know, were anything even resembling what we are now, because I had to get the right people on the bus. I had to get the wrong people off the bus. And then I had to get them in the right seat on the bus. And so, you know, for me, it was 5 years of just straight recruiting, trying to find people with that attitude. And that's really where, you know, it kind of really started right there.
So at the core of your business, you're like most businesses, you have a product. But you haven't even mentioned that yet. You haven't even mentioned our listeners are probably sitting there like, what's the business? So
Yeah.
just so for their sake, tell us a little bit, like, what is it that you guys sell to the world?
Yeah. So plastic. We sell plastic. How boring is that?
So what you're saying is it doesn't have to be a sexy product.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you know, it's industrial distribution. You know, there's a lot of really high-end performance plastics that exist out in the world in a lot of different areas and tons of different types of industries. And that's what we sell. We sell, you know, it's B2B mostly. You know, we've had a few spinoffs. One cool thing that we're doing right now is we have a pergola cover division, you know, like pergolas and arbors and patios in the back of people's yards. Like we created this really cool roofing system. So that's a cool system or a cool division that we've grown. And then we've actually got like a little interior you know, decorating a furniture, home decor type of business made out of acrylic that we're also, you know, kind of starting. It's another division. So you see the entrepreneurial spirit really just kicking off. With the cool thing about that interior, you know, the interior home design division is that was actually created by an employee of ours that just stepped up and said, I'm going to create this thing. I think there's an opportunity, and you got to love that. So that's what we do. I mean, it's plastic. We are trying to find cool ways to go about doing it, but that's what we sell. I mean, we sell plastic.
So I got to jump in there, and I got to know, an employee came up with what ended up being basically either, you know, a separate division of the business, a separate business, however you want to frame it. That doesn't happen anywhere. That is culture. How did that come to be? I got to know that story.
Yeah. So, and that's going to be Katie Parker in our San Antonio office. And she's a rock star. And it's called Clear Modern. That's what the name is. It's literally called Clear Modern. You can look it up on Instagram, TikTok. I think we have like 22,000 followers on our TikTok for that right now. Our Cover Your Pergola, by the way, has 238,000 followers on our Instagram. So we're really big on the social, obviously, but sure. Clear Modern home design, but Clear Modern. Katie saw an opportunity because it was an avenue. I mean, we always preach that it's important for us to make sure that our people know that there's always avenues of growth within the organization that we will try out and support them if they have an idea that looks cool or an idea that's awesome, because like that's what it's all about. I mean, that's where Cover Your Pergola makes up a lot of our revenue right now, and that didn't exist as of 5 years ago. So that was always known, but it takes special individuals, right? Because like it's hard to really see something through. She had a client that, you know, was doing something that sold to something, and she, you know, she basically was in an industry that sold to an industry that was doing something in home decor, and she saw, you know, hey, acrylic, you know, countertops, acrylic tables, acrylic framing. This is something that we could create as our own division rather than selling it to the guys and the people that do this. Why don't we just do it ourselves? We have the fabricators that can build this stuff. I'm going to go out and just do this. And so she had an idea, and, you know, we foster that atmosphere where that's great. Like, yes, that's amazing. I think the coolest part is that, you know, she goes to Jacob Meidel, our COO, he's like, that's awesome. Let's try it. And then really just gave her the support, gave her the budget, gave her the money, and she ran with it. You know, he helped out with her website, but pretty much every other aspect of that division, she started herself and she's also the branch manager of our San Antonio office at the same time. And this thing slotted to, I mean, it's going to do $700,000, $800,000 this year in like its first year. You know, I mean,
Wow.
she texted me the other day and she's like, Chad, I was in Miami at the hotel room, and she was like, Chad, we got 13 orders overnight, or the last 2 nights, 13 orders for $16,000. And I was just so pumped. And we're like, dude, this is really going to work, you know? And so, because that's the aha moment. You're like, dude, 13 different people place an order overnight online on this website. You know, we don't have any reviews yet, you know? And so we saw the demand, but I think the cool part is that, again, it was employees. She just saw it, she took it, but you gotta foster that atmosphere where it's not just like, do your job, this is your job. It's not like that, because life is not cookie cutter. Business is not cookie cutter. It's just not like that. And so it's like, dude, there are so many avenues to do awesome things in life and business. Go ahead and try stuff out. If you fail, fine. Who cares? At least we know, but just try. And we preach that a lot, and we encourage our people to step up and do things like that. And we'll support them. And we want to be challenged like that. I think it's important that businesses really listen to their frontline people that have those ideas. And, you know, sometimes they're going to be bad, but I think it's important to let them try that out. Like, go with it. Let's see where we can take this thing. And obviously we thought it was a brilliant idea anyways. And so it's really cool to see that division take off.
Yeah, that's a true testament too of the culture that you've built. I'm curious, when you came in and you decided you wanted to kind of work on the culture, and you said you brought some people in to help out with that, is that something you sought out, was for the input of the everyday employee, or were you ever the kind of boss that was like, no, like, I'm the boss, you got to do what I say, and we'll kind of sort of listen, but we're actually the bottom line?
Yeah, no, we literally, I just was talking to Nick Gross out there about it. He's our VP of supply chain. And I was like, we were talking about Ted Lasso, because I just finished it last night. I
Awesome
love that
show.
show. Like,
One of my
best show.
favorite shows
I know.
ever.
I know.
It always pops up everywhere.
I know, it's amazing. And we were talking about leadership, because that thing is so amazing, because he's such a great leader. And we're like, Ted was like, he's really just a facilitator. Like, great leaders are just facilitating. They're not sitting up at the top of this building, this totem pole. Like, I'm the man, give me the energy. I'm the person, give me the ego-centric. It's all about me, and I make the final decision. Like, that is bad leadership.
Yeah.
The best leadership is like, I'm facilitating, and I'm just here to really just shuffle this thing around and bring the energy, but it's really you guys that are doing everything. And I think that's one thing that's so special that Jacob Meidel and I were talking about. He's our CEO. He runs the organization. Like, I'm just the heart and soul of the organization. This guy literally runs the organization. And we were talking about that the other day. I was like, yes, we found a lot of amazing people. We created this purpose and this culture, but now our branches have taken this culture to a whole nother level. They are really the ones doing it themselves. Like, you're seeing them hanging out. Like, Chris Stokes in Dallas was just saying the other day, he had an event where his son was graduating, and 9 of the employees in Dallas, 9 of them on a Sunday, came out to his house to this graduation party, right? It's like, I wasn't there. I didn't even get invited to this thing, but you hear about this stuff going on, because it's just like, you're just facilitating this positivity and this love in this workplace where, like, people are actually growing into becoming really good friends, and they know each other and they know their families. And like, I saw it on LinkedIn the other day, and somebody posted like, you can't be best friends with your coworkers. You can't be best friends with your coworkers. And I think that is just an absolute load of BS. And I see it here where, like, these people are truly close friends. And it just starts because, like, man, you hire based on the values, you hire people that believe in the purpose, and then they come here and they work together. and it's a team, and we're facilitating as leaders, as executive team member leaders, whatever. But these branches that we have, like, they're their own organism. And all you're doing, I say this all the time, is like, dude, what we tell our branches, we're decentralized structure. You've got the end zone is like our goals, and we have shared goals for the year. Like, that's the end zone. The out of bounds is just our purpose and our core values. Other than that, we're just telling them, go play the game, call your own plays, pick your own plays, like whatever you guys want to do, whatever you want to do, you can do it, but just stay. Here's the goals that we want to hit, and here's our purpose and our values. Those are the out of bounds. And other than that, we're really just facilitating. And you see, when you really work as a team, which is hard to do, but when you really, like Ted Lasso, like, that is as good as teamwork as you can get. Everybody's involved. He's facilitating everybody. That's what you got going on here. Then everybody's a part of it. Everybody is engaged. And it's really cool to see these guys like really become like close friends. And you see stories like that. And it's like, we created the culture at the beginning, but the culture has morphed into something even better than we could have ever imagined, because our people just took it and just went with it, and it's organic, it's authentic, it's real. So I know I'm being long-winded. I just get so excited about that kind of stuff.
But it's so good. Like, I think that one of the keys is, like, to me, why do you hire people in leadership roles and then say, here's exactly what I want you to go do it. Like, you're basically turning their brain off, their creativity, their special skills, their experience, their thought, their ownership, and you exasperate all of it, and you put it all on you. So then when you leave, or whether it's for a short-term period vacation type situation, or you leave the organization, it all falls apart. Well, that's not what you should be striving for. You should be striving to say, hey, listen, and I've used the expression in some of mine, like, as long as you're not endangering another person or going to land yourself in jail, like, I'm pretty okay with pretty much any risk you're going to take, as long as it's thought out and measured. Now, if you kind of didn't think about safety and you were putting other people in danger, we got a problem. But most intelligent people don't do that. And then they do something, you're like, oh, that was way smarter than I could have done.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will say, and as you're talking, I was writing this down. One of the best things we did was we created branch level leadership teams. So we have 7 locations. And what we did was we created a decentralized structure. So not centralized. We are not sitting here telling you what to do as the branch managers and as the branch leadership teams. Our branch managers are basically like CEOs of that location. And what's really cool that we did was we created these branch level leadership teams, and they create their own goals. Like, they have their quarterly sessions with our COO. He comes in there and it's just coaching. It's just like, can we coach you on leadership? Can we coach you on management? Let's look at the goals that we set this quarter. Let's review them. Did we hit these things? Are there things we need to tweak? Let's look at the big priorities that we set that feed into that 1-year goal, right? Like, these are things, but every single 90 days, our leadership team at every single location is coming back together and making sure that they're on the same page, making sure we're sharing core value stories. We're sharing purpose stories. We're saying, are we doing good on our 1 year? All of these things are coming together, but they have full autonomy, and they get to make these decisions themselves at the leadership team level. We're just here to coach. And once we did that and we made it a consistent cadence throughout the organization, because you can't just say things, you have to make it into a cadence. And so when we made it into a cadence where, okay, every 3 months we're getting Jacob Meidel, who our COO, he's going to get with these guys. They're going to go off site for an entire day, and they're going to review the quarter. They're going to talk about the goals that they hit, the stuff they missed. They're going to set priorities, and then they're going to go after it the next quarter. But that leadership team is making those decisions, not us. We're just, again, facilitating those things. When that happened, then you get people that are like, okay, this is my branch. I can make these decisions, right? This leadership team is stepping up and saying that. I mean, it's just like, it's pretty special to see. That was a big deal for us when that happened. We really saw, they always say, like, the hockey stick, you're going, and all of a sudden you just go, and you're up and to the right. When we started to really develop these leadership teams at the branch level and made them consistent cadence with our COO, you saw drastic improvement of the numbers. But not only that, like, the understanding of, like, this is mine. And this is ours, as a team. Like, as we go, the rest of the branch goes. And that was real. That was huge in our development over the course of the last like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. It's funny when we do these podcasts, Paul always picks out our guests, and I usually have no idea who they are. And our listeners know this. And I say this every single time, I feel like. And so I go on social media and I'll go stalk them and come up with some questions to ask and stuff. And Paul mentioned your name, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's the paper guy. He's like, why are you talking about Leah? He's like, I don't know about. I'm like, yes, I guess the algorithm keeps sending your posts to me through LinkedIn, because obviously we're all the same kind of people. But
Yeah.
but Paul's like, what is the paper guy? And I was like, he holds these little papers up.
I know.
I still don't know.
I know. I did a few of those. One day I just wrote something down. I did it, and it one of them, a couple of them went. I mean, they had really good, like, I mean, there's like 26,000 people that responded to it. So of course, you do something that works on LinkedIn, you just continue to do it again and
For
again.
sure.
I do it every once in a while. I think it's good to put it out there. I love doing the LinkedIn stuff. I do it honestly for 2 reasons. The LinkedIn stuff, I mean, I'm passionate about putting Work Doesn't Have to Suck out there. I want to share what we have done here. I do it again to double down to just our people, because I send it to all of our employees. And I'm like, I just want to, you can't say things enough. You say something 7 times for them to hear it once. It's good to continue to talk about, bosses leading and leaning into humility. And it's good to talk about terrorist employees, people that perform but don't line up with the values, but they're allowed to stay. These things are important to continue talking about this type of stuff. So I do it for that reason, for them. But then also, just putting out there is like, dude, work doesn't have to suck. And if you're in a situation where it does suck for you, it's probably making a lot of the rest of your life suck. And that's unacceptable. Go find another job. Like, go look somewhere else. Like, don't accept that it sucks because you have some job title or because you have some high paying job. Like, if you have the high paying, you love it, that's fine. But like, if you are miserable, it's not worth any amount of money to be unhappy every single day at work. And it's just like, you want to push that out there to encourage so many leaders and as many people as possible. And I can't tell you the amount of people that reach out to me, that are either leaders of an organization or just people that are like, keep posting, Chad, because I mean, a lot of times I'm just like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I mean, I'm like, I love it, but like, it gets exhausting because I'm trying to do something new every single day. But like, these people are like, this really means so much to me. Just putting it out there. Please keep doing that. And that's what I try to remember every single time when I'm doing those posts on there, because it's just, the world needs a lot more love at work. And I can't say it enough, I guess, is really what I try to do. So that's the reason why I keep posting as much new content. And I think a lot of it is really cool stories about really, really raw, organic, authentic stories that are happening here that I can share with other people that I think are like, wow, that's really going on. It's like, yeah, like that's really happening. This story really occurred. We really bought Kenneth tires because why not? Because a company should do that kind of stuff, So
expectations. That's the biggest, like without expectation coming back to you.
Yes, exactly. No expectations, never, not trying to sell anything.
Right.
Just trying to show the love because it's something that I'm so passionate about. I know that we're so passionate here about it. And so, I guess, I mean, I turned 41 this year, and it's like you start to realize, like, as you get older, like you just want to lean into your passion. Like, I know that no matter what, if I'm leaning to my passion, that everything's going to be good and I'm going to be happy. And so whenever we formulated Work Doesn't Have to Suck and really made it meaningful here, and then you started seeing the lives of the people that it touched, and I start getting the emails of the people that are like, my life sucked and I was miserable, and the only thing that changed in my life was starting to work here at this place, and now I am so happy. I could read you some of these things, and it's just like, it fills your cup so much you just want to do it again and again and again and again, because like, this is what life is all about. Like, this is more important than any money you can make. So I don't know. I mean, I think that we got to pay the bills and you got to make money, obviously, but more and more and more and more never made anybody happy. And so it's like, I think that as an organization, try to take those profits and try to make sure that we're increasing these guys' pay, doing stuff for them as much as humanly possible. That's more important than, putting it in the owner's pockets or anything like that. And so we really fight against that often. And We've doubled pay here over the last 5 years. We've tripled vacation days off. We've doubled vacation days, tripled paid holidays off. I mean, these are things that are really important to us. And I think that that's what has had a lot of positive impact on the life work balance.
There you go.
Well done.
So that kind of leads to my question, because I just pulled up the post, 26,000 plus likes. It's pretty simple, right? We don't hire for skills, we hire for attitude. We only promote from within. And every month, man, or every quarter, they ask, how are you?
Yeah.
So I think that, you've got probably some people listening going, yeah, he's the CEO. Of course he thinks the culture is great. Like every CEO thinks their culture is great, or they would change it.
Yeah.
But my question is, I feel that there's some ways that you can truly know that. I mean, I laugh when I hear somebody goes, oh, nobody wants to work anymore. We can't hire anybody. And I change it. And I'm like, yeah, nobody wants to work for you.
Yeah.
Because then all of a sudden, because like to me, Chick-fil-A is the greatest. Like you go to Chick-fil-A, you go to McDonald's, and it's a whole different thing. Well, I'm guessing it's not much more fun to make the waffle fries at Chick-fil-A versus the French fries at McDonald's.
Yeah.
It can't be that.
Yeah.
And you're not getting paid big bucks over here. And so everybody tries to compete on pay. It's like, what if you just made a culture where people wanted to work there? So my question to you is, how do you measure objectively? Are there some metrics that you use to say, you know what, from a business standpoint, our culture, the things we're doing, it doesn't suck. People want to stay here. People want to be here. People, do good things for our business.
Yeah. I think that, no, I mean, to be honest with you, there's no objective way. I mean, you can send them surveys, I think
retention. Do people?
No, yeah, no, I mean, no, like this, it's a great question. It's just like, you have to always fight against the like surveys of the world, like sending out surveys. How unauthentic is that? Right. It's like, no, what we do is we preach humility, we preach kindness, we preach having empathy, we preach accountability being a good thing to our leaders. And I think that the ways that we know about that our culture is good is that our leaders are sitting down with each one of their employees every 2 hours off site, and they're talking about these things. And you really get to know this type of stuff whenever you sit down one-on-one with people, and you can really tell them, hey, what's working and what's not working with your job. And we coach them as like, man, when things are not working, let's go in and fix this. Like, there's nothing more important than them being happy in their job. But, like there was a state of the company address we had in Dallas last quarter, and we share core value stories at the end of that. And it really is a time for people to open up and just talk and give each other love about anything in the workplace, anything at all. And I mean, I think there was like, and I'm not even joking when I say this, I think there was like literally 9 people that cried in that Dallas State of the Company address. And I lead it, and we talk about successes and lessons learned. And then we finish with core value stories. And at the end, I mean, these people are literally like, if you have 9 people that are crying, awesome. Like that's real. I mean, you can ask them. And that's why I did those LinkedIn videos where I was interviewing our employees, because I was like, I'm walking around with the camera, grabbing them spontaneously. I'm like, why do you like working here? And what's the most important attribute about of a good boss? And I'm just trying to catch them, because I'm like, I know people say that and they're like, yeah, no, the CEO thinks this. And I'm like, come ask our people. I'm trying to put it out there on video. Like, that's how I know, is because when people are bringing themselves to tears because they're talking about other people at this place that mean something to them, it's never work stuff. It's always just because of who you are, because you support me, because I was having a really bad quarter because my mom was sick and dying of cancer, and you were here for me every single day. Like Kiana was telling me the other day, like she was having a rough month, and Katie sent her flowers, just randomly. And I know that's something that's like so little and so dumb, but she's like, I needed that so badly at that particular point in my life. It's like, we've had people that, have gone through rehab. We've had people, that we pay for it. We pay for all that stuff, right? We pay for the rehab. We pay them when they're off, right? Like Goldberg got he had leukemia, and we paid him through all of that. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, that's the stuff, but like, that's how is because these people were brought to tears, but the culture is working and the culture is special is because when they all get down to it and we have these state of company addresses, that's one of the more emotional things we do because we're all sitting. I'm not standing and presenting. We're sitting in chairs as close as humanly possible to each other, and we're just talking about these stories. And you see people coming to tears. You can tell how impactful it is because the people that they work with have turned from coworkers to friends, and it's authentic and it's real and it's special. And it's something that I leave here some days with tears in my eyes because of the culture, because of the people, because of the relationships that I see them having, because I see the misery that was here back in the day. And I see it was not this. And I remember the way it was, and the uptightness and the politically correctness, and you couldn't be open and say what you want to say, and nobody wanted to listen to what you had to say anyways. And nothing was organic. It was all just fake and politics and the BS stuff that we all hate, right? And it was like, now you see this, like, people are having real conversations. They're really calling themselves out. Like, they're calling each other out. They're like laughing. They're crying during the state of the company. And that's when you know that the culture is working. There's no way to objectively say our culture is awesome. I'm only intuitive, but you feel it. When you hear them talk about it, you know it's real. And it's like, that's the only way I can answer that is like, I don't know, come work here and, and you can find out, like, type of thing. I don't know, but I know
Listen, I don't work there, but I can tell you that San Antonio story with the girl being willing to take that product on tells me all I need to know about your culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means you guys are nailing it because people feel free that they can make a change in it.
Yeah. No, I mean, and there's a lot of stories that are like that. There's the Eddie Watson story, he was married to somebody that, was a drug addict, and he, was way overweight, and he was smoking, and, he was just in a really bad relationship. And, the leadership changed here. And I did a post on this, the leadership changed here at the company. And, he ended up over the course of time being encouraged from his boss, Jake Basham here in Dallas, the branch manager, just, he stopped smoking. He got rid of that bad relationship with that woman that was, addicted to drugs. And, he got full custody of his daughter. He lost like 80 pounds. He started working out. He looks so good now. And it's just like, you saw somebody, he was like, we had a state of the company one time. This is a couple of years back. And he was like, he's like, I used to be $20 shoe guy. I would go buy my shoes at Walmart and they were $20 because that's what I felt I was worth. I was only good enough to wear $20 pair of shoes. And then he was like, gosh, damn it. He's like, I just bought a $200 pair of shoes because damn it, I'm worth it, and everybody like erupted, and it was like this great, like, just like, it was a true, honest, like, feeling. Like, it was like, because this place has given me the confidence in myself to be able to make those decisions in my life. This is not even work stuff. This is all just life stuff. And it was like, that's how the culture is working. And he's like, dude, nothing happened in my life other than leadership change here. Cause he's been working here for a while. He's like, leadership change here. And my boss and the people around me encouraged me to step up for myself and demand better. And he did. And you see a life change, you see that daughter's life change, and I think that's the stuff that's the reason when I leave here and I ever have tears in my eyes, that's the reason why it's that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And you had mentioned a bit ago that we need more love in the workplace. And the reality is, I mean, this world could use a little more love in general, but the fact that people are at work for so long during the day, the fact that you guys can give that to them, it's going to expand out into their lives. And obviously you guys are helping them in their life, not just in work. And honestly, to me, it's almost like a family environment. You guys are supporting them. You're showing the love for them. You're there for them. And I think I'm from a big family. I'm one of 7 kids and we're super close and we do anything for anybody, in our family. And I honestly think that that's part of where that culture comes from, is that you guys have created a family environment. So they want to help each other out. They want to cheer each other on. They want to go to graduations because they feel like they're part of that family. And there's just, unfortunately, not enough companies out there that feel the same way.
Yeah. And I mean, I know there's a lot of people like, don't say family at work and stuff like that. And I thought it was really interesting because when I went around and did those interviews with our employees and I asked them that question, I was like, why do you like working here? And that's exactly what they said. So the answer, they said, because it's like family. That's what they said. Those are words out of their mouth, not mine, because I was like, oh, watch out saying family, because you got, sometimes you have to let go of your family and you can't do that. And that whole thing. And I get it, but they said family. And I just think that it's a place where they feel supported, and a place where, again, they come to work every single day, not with coworkers, but with their friends. And they know that their friends are, your friends are your friends. And just because you work with them, like, that's my favorite thing about working here is like, yes, we're coworkers, but like, these are my dear friends. And I think that most executives, I think most CEOs don't want to get into the soft stuff. I don't think they really care about culture, and that's fine. But I will say this to them is that our bottom line and top line, like, we quadrupled the size of this organization. Our bottom line has increased 3,000% since we changed the culture, and the numbers are there. We're growing right now, and we're up this year again when our entire industry is down. So if you want to say, I'm skeptical about this stuff, we're doing it because we believe in this stuff. But I'm saying it works for the numbers too, for the skeptical CEOs that are out there saying, oh, that soft stuff doesn't matter. Absolutely matters.
Right.
Absolutely. Because
All
look
that
at the
matters.
results. Yes. Yeah. You said it. Chick-fil-A. Yeah. Great. I love their stuff too, but like, it's that energy. It's that
Whole
feeling. It's like,
vibe.
you just know. It's just like, that's it. Like that is makes you feel good. Just the way that somebody looks you in the eye and talks to you. And it's like, they're still selling chicken sandwiches just like all the other places. But like, there's a reason why they're so successful and why you love going there. And all the greatest places that you go, the places that you like to spend your money at, it's not the actual stuff. It's the feeling that you have. It's the people that, shake your hand, look you in the eye, and just, give you a hug and thank you for being there. One of my favorite places in Dallas is called Good Friend, and it's a beer garden and burger house. And I'll go there before I'll go anywhere else in the entire city. And the reason why is because they look me in the eye and they shake my hand and they say, hey, Chad, how's it going? How's the family? And there's so much love in this place, and they do so much for the community. I can get burgers and I can get fries and I can get beer at a million other places in Dallas. I go over town. I drive 37 minutes over town to go to this place because of that other stuff, all the other stuff. It's the feeling that I get when I walk into this place. And it's because of the people that give me that feeling. And that's the same for any business.
Yeah. Right.
Well, since we're talking about things that make us feel good, I gotta ask you, what's your favorite cookie?
Okay, my favorite cookie. I think if I had to go with it, I think I think it's the sugar cookie, man. I really do. I think it is the simple. Most people say chocolate chip, but like I like the sugar cookie.
Nah, it's a respectable choice. And let me tell you about the Cleveland cookie guy. You want to talk about culture? This guy, granted, he doesn't have any employees, but he has the best culture. Like, everybody approves it's the best culture. And he has the best cookies. Clee Cookie Guy on Instagram. If you want to check out some different things on there, Clee Cookie Guy. It's like Cleveland, CLE.
Yeah.
Cookie Guy. And these things, he comes out with some of the most amazing things. Everybody who listens tired of hearing the Cleveland Cookie Guy. But let me tell you, they're once in a million. They're amazing. And we got to get you some. So, but final question, always we end it this way. We believe in putting your life first. And it's for a lot of the reasons you talked about. When businesses put their employees first and their life first, not only does everybody have a better life, but the business grows too. It just happens. Mm-hmm. But what's one piece of advice you'd give to a fellow CEO, to somebody listening to this, to maybe infuse that work shouldn't suck, put life first, either into their own personal life or into their business?
What I would say to any person that's out there, just not necessarily an executive or CEO, because I think it's a different message, but for any just individual out there with a job, is that life is too short and life is too precious for work to suck. We spend a third of our life or more at work. And if you're in a situation where you're not happy, go do something about it, really look inward, because it's like, you deserve to be happy. And, you know, I think that we're starting to redefine what success looks like. I do think that, I feel it. And it's understanding, it's like, it's not all about money. Success used to be about climbing that corporate ladder, and it used to be about making the most amount of money. And I think we're starting to redefine that, now. And I think that we're starting to look inward and saying, but am I happy? Is it worth it if I'm not happy? And if you're not happy, don't sit in something, no matter what the job title is, no matter how much money you make. If you're unhappy, you're unhappy, and life is short. And I blinked and I'm 41 now. I was just 30 yesterday. 3 kids just popping out, right? It's like, it just flies by. And so it's just not worth spending an ounce of time at a place that doesn't respect you, at a place that doesn't give you time off for other hobbies and for friends and family and other things in your life. It's not worth working for a bad boss. It's not worth it working for a place that doesn't show kindness and empathy and compassion to you. And so these things are important. And, for any CEO or executive team leader out there, I'm just like, when you create a culture and you have purpose and you have values and you really lean into those things, and you're not just doing it, it's not about what you're doing it's about why you're doing it. How fulfilling that can be, and how much fun coming to work can be, creating a culture, right? Do you want to, we're talking about Ted Lasso, I think that all of us would love playing for Richmond. We would love that atmosphere. Do you want to work for, do you want to go work every single day for Ted Lasso, his Richmond team, or, do you want to go play for West Ham, and that other whatever, Nate's old team,
Yeah.
It's like, I want to be in an atmosphere every single day that fills me up, that lifts me up, it fills my cup, and encourages me to be the best version of myself. And, I think that employees now, and they're out there, and the good ones especially, are choosing culture. And that if you want to win the war on talent, and you're any type of executive, you're going to start realizing that culture and pouring into your employees and caring about them and making them number one is really going to be a great thing for the business, but also it's going to be a whole lot of fun, and you can actually make an impact, on lives. And I think that whole thing is just really cool to see. It's hard to have a meaningful life without meaningful work, and I truly do believe that. And so, it's something that is just, it's for both sides, for the executive people that are out there, they're building companies, and then for the team members out there, all the employees that are looking for jobs, look for places that have culture and values and purpose. That stuff is just too important to ignore.
I agree.
Man, you nailed it. That was awesome. That was a lot of fun. I appreciate you coming on, and
Yeah, much appreciated.
yeah.
Well, hey, Chad, real quick before we sign out with everybody, we always ask everyone if there is anywhere on social that they would like to share for people to follow them. We already know you're the paper guy on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Is there anywhere else on social media you'd like our listeners to follow you?
I mean, LinkedIn is definitely, where I do most of it, but I actually have a TikTok that I have 93 followers, I think now. So I'm doing really good, but I'm trying to post on TikTok a little bit, just whenever I'm feeling it, just on video. So I'm starting to do that more, but those are really the 2 places. I try to limit it, with
I love it.
the social media, just trying to limit as much, much as possible, with all the kids and stuff like that. But LinkedIn, Chad Gono, and then TikTok, Chad Gono,
Awesome.
those are the 2 spots I'm ever putting anything like this.
Very cool. I will definitely put that in the show notes for everybody, so they can go check out your little paper.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
They are awesome. And we really appreciate you coming on. Honestly, we could have chatted for a very long time today, but we'll respect everybody's time and your time, but much appreciated. And everybody go follow him on LinkedIn.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks.